Hey everyone, we're two vintage sisters and I'm Angela.
I'm Melissa.
And today we are going to talk about Halloween masks.
Everybody's favorite.
Yeah. So last year, about this same time, we went garage sailing. And what did we find?
Halloween masks. A whole box,
Yeah,
right?
a
In the driveway.
whole box for like
there.
25 cents a piece.
Like 25 of them. Like
And
a lot.
we had no knowledge of Halloween masks.
We never sold them.
No, it's not really our style. We kind of like more cutesy things and toys and stuff for our shops.
Kitchen.
Yeah, kitchen. But something about these masks just kind of
Got us
said,
going,
you know, there's something interesting about these. For 25 cents a piece, maybe we should just buy
Give it a
them
shot.
and give it a shot. So, we were able to sell them from between like what, 20 to
5 to 50.
50, a piece.
I mean, it was crazy.
Right, I'm trying to remember the highest one. So they pretty much all sold. So we did a video also a year ago, so you have to go back and watch that video.
We should link that below.
Yeah, and we can link it
In our
down
comments
below.
so you can find it.
So we did the video, we put our masks in our shops, and almost all of them sold. We maybe had one or two that didn't sell yet, but I've gotten a lot of favorites on my one mask I have left. So guess what we did for this year? We sourced more masks because if we know something will sell, that's what we're gonna go out and try to find, right? So we just want to share the masks with you and see what we found. So do you want to start?
I think it was kind of different sourcing masks, right? Than finding them in a driveway at a garage sale.
Right.
Because you can kind of, I mean, of course we want to source them within reason. We're not going to go source $50 masks, right? But I found some bright, colorful, like it's crazy how I found some that kind of appealed to me. Like when I found those ones at the garage sale, I was like, because we found them in a box, we weren't sure, and this time we got to pick some, so it was kind of fun to be able to like look for different. But again, I had to only buy what I could find, or we could find, and what we could afford to flip for a profit.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, we are Etsy sellers and resellers, and that's what we do.
Right.
So these are all going to be available in our Etsy shops, and we'll continue to talk about that.
Yeah, we'll link those shops below too.
So this was one of the first ones that I found. These first two that I'll show you came together, and they're Ben Cooper. Yeah. So there's two. I've learned there's two companies that are retro or vintage for masks. Ben Cooper and Collegeville. And Collegeville goes a little farther back than Ben Cooper, but they kind of they ran the same time. But anyway, so these are Ben Cooper masks, and there's lots of other. There's like Eureka, and I did a little history lesson.
Melissa's good about that because she's a teacher.
I like to get behind the scenes and figure it out. Anyway, so isn't this kind of cool? I think it's Frankenstein.
Yeah.
But I like the colors, very very 60s, very retro, kind of groovy.
Well, and I like how it's Frankenstein, but it's not super scary either.
No, it's bright and colorful and
some bright pink lipstick.
Right, look at
Frankenstein
to kiss you with. So there's one of mine. So do you?
Oh, we're going back and forth. Okay.
Or do you think, or?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that works here. So, I actually didn't find a lot of more scary masks. I found some more cutesy masks, but this is probably one of the scariest type of masks.
Cool. See those colors? There's those colors again.
Right, all these bright colors. It looks like somebody kind of punched a hole in the top and kind of used it. Maybe they hung it on their wall or on their mantle. Some of the masks that we found last year actually had like blue or marbles in the eyes with a piece of Scotch tape holding the marble in the center of the eye hole. And they looked really cool when you shone a light through it. So that's an idea for you.
That's a good DIY, right?
Yeah.
To upcycle, and that's pretty cool.
And we do have a DIY coming up.
Stay tuned.
And we have a big announcement at the end too, so make sure you listen to that.
That one's really cool. So then the other one I was saying that I got at the same time as the Frankenstein is this one, and I don't know if it's like a zombie, kind of reminds me of a zombie, or just a monster. But again, it's scary, but it's not it's not that scary, right? It's fun. I think it's fun scary. But anyway, so this is another one, and this one also has its string attached. These two are probably in the best condition out of all the ones that I got. I mean, there's a couple other ones, you know, just in the sense that there's not any cracks but you know, guys, even if there's little marks on these and stuff, I still sold all mine, pretty much. So collectors, not just to wear them, but more so to decorate with them.
Right.
So anyway, so these are the two that I think are pretty fun that I got together.
This is more of a
Little Bo Peep.
Yeah, a cute little mask, little Bo Peep.
Reminds me of our Mary Had a Little Lamb. That's our
Yeah.
little Bo Peep. That's pretty cool.
And it has the yarn, so obviously it was the same person that had these.
That
one was
cool.
kind of cute.
I think I'll grab these two. I'll grab these two and show you together. So these are child size masks, because look how little they are.
Oh yeah.
And this one's like a pilot. I looked it up and it was like a space pilot or something. So again, very 60s, like Jetsons, you know, like when the Jetsons. And then this is a robot. But look at these colors, and look at, they're just so stinking cute. They're just these little kid masks. So they still have their holes for a string that if you wanted to add something and wear them, there's no chips or cracks or, but anyway, robot and a little space pirate. So
Very
those
cool.
two.
This one, I think I had the same one last year.
That looks familiar.
Yeah, it's sort of like a, I don't know, just call him a
Hobo?
hobo.
That's what it
Yeah.
reminds me of.
I don't know if that's politically correct, but
Sorry,
it's kind of the best description of
Hobo
what
clown?
I think it probably
And here, hold it
might
there.
be.
So look, look, guys, because here's my hobo. They're kind
Yeah,
of similar. They
they
kind of
are
remind me
similar.
of hobo clowns, kind of, don't they? Like,
Yeah.
but aren't they fun?
Well, and what's fun about these two is that there's several, and like they seem to have different collections, and so if you want to match a spouse or a friend,
You can-
it's easy to do. Yeah. You want to go or me?
You go.
Okay. Look at this. Is this old Spider-Man?
I saw that. I just saw that on. I was online looking at something else. Isn't that cool?
Isn't that really cool?
Yeah, I saw a Batman too. That's really cool. Look at the details.
Yeah, the embossing of the spider on the
Oh my
forehead.
gosh. That's pretty cool.
Fun.
So here's my devil mask, right?
Oh yeah.
Kind of like Angela had. And this one has this string, just so she can. Here we go again. We're gonna do another one of these little. We just have fun.
Oh, the pictures we could create.
Can you imagine? Oh my goodness, we could have a whole scrapbook. Anyway, isn't that cool? So again, colors. Look at how retro. Just those colors, those turquoise, and these colors are kind of coming back into.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of Halloween.
Kind of the fluorescence.
Halloween stuff recently at a craft store.
Now, some of these I sort of recognize as being iconic, but I don't necessarily know the names of them.
Well, maybe we'll be able
So
to.
we need your help. So if you can comment down below if you know
Who we're
what one
holding.
is, who we're holding, that would help us a lot. So who do you think this guy is? It's got like rocks on his
He's
forehead.
got to be some comic book character.
Yeah.
Kind of like the DC, like Spider-Man.
Right,
Or
right.
Spider-Man Marvel or DC? I always get confused because, oh my gosh, my brother-in-law
I
would
think
be
it
like,
switched, didn't it?
yeah, I think so. My brother-in-law would be not happy with me right now because I always get him confused. But doesn't that look like a superhero?
It's got to be something.
That's pretty cool. Oh, well, here's a celebrity. So who's this? We watched this cartoon, so this.
Fred Flintstone.
Oh, I think it is, right? Is it Fred?
Does look like
I
Fred.
think it is.
Yeah.
Because I saw one that was Barney with the blonde hair, so I'm assuming this is Fred.
Okay.
So anyway, it's in pretty good shape.
That is
Isn't that cool? So, good old Fred Flintstone.
Do you have a pirate?
I do.
I have a pirate.
My
here.
pirate is pretty. My pirate's pretty fragile. But
Oh,
look,
it is.
look at him. Look how retro.
Here.
Shiver me timbers.
Hi,
Arr.
matey.
Aren't these great though? Look
Here, let me see it with your skin through. Oh yeah, that's cool. How it looks. You can, because it's translucent.
It's translucent. Oh, but you guys, he's kind of crooked. He's seen better days.
His nose is a little.
His nose is a little flat. But again, right, that's what makes them, they're vintage. That's what kind
Oh,
of.
look what I have. It looks like Fred
Wait.
Flintstone, but then
He's dressed up.
he's
What does
got.
he have? What are his? Is that
like
from
Roman.
Is that from Archie? That's not from Archie, like not Riverdale, but you know Archie. Do you know the comics?
Archie comics,
Yeah, Jughead and Betty. I don't know. It reminds me of something like that.
Yeah,
But maybe not. Maybe. I mean, look, it looks pretty close. What do you guys think?
it's pretty close.
If you guys know who this is, comment below. It's pretty cool. He's got his little green leaves or something going on.
Yeah,
Is
it's
it
like,
Tarzan? No, Tarzan wouldn't look like that. The Jerry curl in the front, the little curl,
yeah.
kind of makes him look like a. That's why I was thinking like Archie or Jughead, or because of his hair. But, I just have these two little ones. Again, these are kids. These are all little Ben Cooper. These are kids' masks. Well, this for sure. Look at this teeny tiny clown
That's
mask.
cute.
It's just, he's got like a. Are we thinking this is a beard?
Yeah.
I don't know. Won't even
Well,
fit
like
my
a
face.
clown, yeah, painted
like
beard.
painted beard. So that one. I got all these little ones together. I found them in an antique store, and then another hobo, I guess, old man with a cigar.
I wonder why they
But
had
then-
the forehead cut off.
Makes you wonder if there something that went on here. Do you guys think, or is it just that vaudeville? That style.
I mean, you could
I
like
mean,
pull a.
Maybe
Maybe
because
a
you could put a
hat,
hat on or a wig
yeah.
with it, and that was the idea. Is then you
That
could
way it
have
didn't
like
bump
a
the
fedora. That's what I need. I
That's-
need a fedora.
Okay, so
Why does he have a clown nose?
Those were all of the male masks that I have.
Oh, she broke hers into female now. Look at that.
No, that's just the way they were
Oh.
the boxes.
No.
I didn't intend on that.
No, that's a good idea though. That still has it.
Yeah, this has a tag inside
That's a
for safe trick or reflections. Lights up when seen by.
so it's fluorescent in the sun, like car lights, headlights or something. That's a really cool
It
label.
said, so it has 1969, made in the USA.
That's pretty cool. See,
Star Brand Co.
so Star Brand is another. So these are so cool because these are just so 60s and 70s. I think of the 60s when I see all these.
I think this is like Cinderella.
Yeah.
Yeah. The tiara. I like that one. Or are you gonna save that one?
No, it's another hobo. But look at him,
no, it
man.
looks like a rock-
Actually, he's a rocker.
star.
Look at his braided. You guys want to see? Look
Oh
at this
my
hair.
gosh, that's awesome.
Look at this guy. So I found 3 at an estate sale, and these are the 3. So I'll show them to you, kind of intermittent. I have 3 that kind of have hair like this. But isn't he pretty cool?
It's got the cigarette or the cigar
Okay.
in his mouth.
So
That's
yes.
great.
So very. Oh, she's pretty.
Yeah, this one is in really good condition. She's got the string. Would you say this is a kid or an adult? Probably a kid size.
I would think. Yeah,
So I bought several of these that are coming up, like maybe 6 of them all together. So I don't know if they were all from the same line. I don't know who she is, but she's pretty and she's got a cute little striped hat on.
And she's got really good lips.
Yeah.
Look at her lips. Do you want to show another one? Sure. I think you have one.
This one looks like a queen.
See,
of
so
some
that looks
sort.
bigger. So I'm wondering if that is an adult versus a child size.
That could be.
Maybe, or maybe not. Maybe a lot of these are just one size fits all. And
Yeah. Well, and I've heard too that adults can really wear the kid size
anyway,
too.
yeah. So look at her. Wow, look at her crown.
Yeah.
She's
This
got
is
a-
made in the USA. 29 cents. It was originally 29 cents.
20. Look at those teeth. Look at those bright white. So here's another iconic one. Unfortunately, it's a little full. But who's this? Right.
Raggedy Ann.
That's what I'm thinking. It's a little bent, but I don't want to try to. But see, I think it's Raggedy Ann. What do you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah.
She just got a little. She's got a little crooked going on. But somebody
She's
could.
got a little Bell's palsy going on.
She's dropped. She's stressed. She had a nervous breakdown. She got put in a box for.
She had a nervous.
She got stuffed away. Anyway, but you guys, if you'll notice when you start looking online at like Halloween masks or just in general, but But Raggedy Ann, there's a ton of Raggedy Anns. Like, we were Raggedy Ann as kids.
Oh,
my
yeah.
sister and I, but it wasn't,
we
I
were
don't
too.
recognize this Raggedy Ann, so there's a ton of them. This doesn't have a date, so I don't know when this one was. I know it's definitely vintage, but not new, but not, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So lots of different ones for Raggedy Ann.
There's a few more.
Hold on. Oh, those are cool. Just look at how yellow, blonde the hair is.
Yeah.
But I think it's because it reflects. I really think that's why.
You think so? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That one's pretty cool.
This one was 49 cents originally. These seem to be kid size, maybe.
Their lips are like perfect. Look at her lips. She's got like the perfect lips. These are pretty cool. She's got stars in her hair.
Mm-hmm. These would be, all of these princess type ones would be fun to go as a group of girlfriends together.
So I have this teeny tiny witch.
Oh, look at that. That is funky.
It's just so weird. She's got like a tooth off. But look how little, you guys. Okay, I don't think I have a huge face. Are you ready? I can't give my eyes.
Yeah. You have to
wear
it up.
You have to wear it up. So this definitely is made for a little face.
Well, I think there's kid sizes and then there's toddler sizes.
So this could even be. This is
a toddler
pretty
size.
little, but I still thought it was cute.
That's super cute.
It still has its string, but it's like.
That one would be cool in your project that you're going to do a little bit later.
It would be. So we'll have to keep all that in mind.
Yeah. Okay, this is the last girl. So like a superhero.
Now that one's that cat lady. That one's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's got the string and everything.
I'm telling you, the features are just so. Look at how dainty. They're like perfect.
Mm-hmm.
That one's pretty cool. Okay, guys, so I'm going to show you another one. This is another one that I got with the hippie guy. So these all came from an estate sale. Look at. So here's a different. It's like a pirate skeleton, maybe, or just a pirate, I think. But but he's got like gashes and look at his beard. Look at his hair. So see.
It's amazing that the hair has lasted this
so long and stayed intact. I mean, it's totally. There's some cracks, chips on. Not chips. What are the word? Little cracks because they're brittle. They get brittle, but isn't he funky? I really like that guy.
Well, from the 60s. I mean, these are 50 years old.
If you think about 60 years old.
Yeah.
2020, you guys. If it's from 60, that's crazy.
Well, I was thinking 69. Yeah.
Okay. Well then, yeah.
Around that time.
Do you have any more?
Yeah, I have kind of others that are
Do
similar.
you want to? I have 3 left. How many do you?
I don't know.
Do you want to go?
Okay.
Because I have 2 left, and then my big find on the back side. Oh, look at who that is.
I have Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny, and it says 1989 Warner Brothers.
Oh, so it is.
Yeah. So this next grouping is probably from the 80s.
That one's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you find that? Did you?
I sourced almost all of mine online.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Do you?
Go ahead.
Okay. So this is another little child size, again small, but look, it's just a clown, but he's a happy clown.
Yeah.
See, he's happy.
Misty from Thrifter,
Thrifter Junker Vintage
Hunter. She would not like that mask.
Oh, it's a happy clown, but you know what? She still
I
wouldn't.
don't think she would still.
Because I
think
see
she'd
her
like
in her thrift-alongs and stuff, and anytime she's in an antique store, and she's like, "Oh no,
No,
Misty, did we do it good? Oh no, did I do a good job?" Anyway, it's a happy clown. Is there
She's
such a?
so funny.
She is.
Okay. These are all kind of. I didn't realize they were so wrapped in bubble wrap.
Hey, I know who that is. So I have a story after she shows you this.
Ready? Dun, dun,
And
dun,
then
dun,
it
dun,
goes.
dun, dun.
So Pink Panther. Yeah.
Pink Panther.
So I could have bought the inspector.
Oh, really?
He's got the blue hat. I saw the inspector mask, long face.
How could you tell it was the inspector from?
Because it said on the.
Oh,
because
did
it was
it?
I
Okay.
saw it on. It was an online thing I saw, and I was
Right.
like a marketplace type
Uh-huh.
thing. Oh, Didn't get it.
No.
Should have gotten it, but then we would have the Inspector and the Pink Panther.
Right.
That's pretty
that
cool.
would have been cool. I have fond memories of watching the old Pink Panthers
Yes.
with my dad
The
growing
original
up.
Pink Panther.
And the newer ones are fun too.
I think the originals are.
Well, yeah. But for our kids,
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
or our teens and young adults, they like the newer ones
Oh, yeah.
more.
But I do remember watching that with my grandpa.
Yeah.
Grandpa liked the Pink Panther.
Where he would come into his apartment and then his roommate or his assistant would
assistant.
always try to attack him.
Always.
Yeah. I'll do one more.
Yeah.
So we have a little bit of a Warner Brothers theme going on. This one is from 1990.
It's Tweety Bird.
And it has the price of $2.50 on it.
Wow, so $2.50. It's crazy.
Yeah. It does have some cracking up here, but
I mean, it
you know
still
what?
could be.
That's pretty sweet. Still
Yeah.
has its string on it.
I mean, we're gonna expect these. The fact, you guys, when I think about 60s and 70s and 80s, even, I mean, the 80s, 40 years. 1980 was 40 years ago from 2020, right? So we're talking 40 years. So at the most, these are only 40 years young. So they're anywhere from 60 to 40 years old. And the fact that they're still, like, look at the paint colors, right? Like, the paint colors are still intact, and just blows my mind that they're in as good a condition as they are.
One more.
Oh, Woody Woodpecker, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty cool. The fact that it's just vibrant, and I think sometimes I see little marks. I'm like, dang it. I'm like, yeah, but wait a second. You've been laying around for.
Yeah, this one says it's from 89.
So again.
So it's kind of nice that they actually have the date on it. One tricky part about our business is that we sometimes have to guess on dates,
A
or
lot of
try to
times.
guess, and
What brand even?
yeah,
You
the
find
brands
something
if they're
and,
not marked. So
you know,
we love it when it has the brand name and the date on it.
Because it makes it a lot easier for us.
Yeah, to
That's
list it
pretty
in our
cool.
Etsy shop. So that's all of my masks.
So this is
Oh, look at that.
the last one that I got from that estate sale with the hair.
Native American.
Look at this Native American, and it's like crazy. Look, you can't see behind his hair, but even the mask even has braids
Wow.
that come down. See here in the detail is pretty.
That is pretty cool.
But look, it's pink.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was cool. So, and the fact that, like I said, it's got some, cracks, but it's pretty good shape for being, these are, I found similar ones that were from the 60s, Ben Cooper. So these are definitely, they're at least 50 years old,
Yeah.
right? Which just blows my mind that there isn't good of. Okay. And my last one is actually a costume. And speaking of 80s, so this is from 80. I don't have my glasses. It says on there's Roman numerals somewhere. I think it's 80.
1980.
Yeah.
American
So
Greetings.
how many of us, you guys, watched
Tiny Tot, ages 3 to 5.
Strawberry Shortcake? Look at how cute. And Angela and I love Strawberry Shortcake.
Where did you get this one?
This came from an antique store.
Okay.
So I paid up a little bit for this.
Yeah.
This would be what I spent a little more on this one, but
Sure.
but look how cool. Her string is still attached.
Oh my gosh.
She's got no
Couple tiny little
couple
marks,
little ones,
no,
but not really.
Not a big deal.
And then I know my sister was Strawberry Shortcake one Halloween, but I don't remember. I don't remember if it was this one. I mean, I think she was older than this,
Oh,
but
wow.
look, it's in pretty good. But look at the gown.
That's so cool.
Right?
Oh my gosh.
So I had a Casper that I had found at a sale last Halloween, and it sold like in a week or two. I mean,
Yeah.
full cost, and even they're not in that great of shape, right? Sometimes there are little marks or dirty, but the fact that they're still together and in their box.
Well, and that's not all cracked up.
No,
in the
Casper
creases, a lot
Casper
of
was
them.
pretty cracked.
Yeah.
So
So do
anyway,
you know what you can get for that? Just out of curiosity.
So-
Putting you on the spot.
so I think I can get it about $80,
Yeah.
and I paid $10.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good return.
That is.
It was 20 and the booth was half off.
Oh.
So they wanted 20,
You
which
got a
even
good
20, right, was
Still
good.
good.
I mean, I
Mhm.
probably still would have paid 20 to get 4 times my,
Yeah.
but to get $10, and then in the box, the mask alone I've seen for 50 to 60, and I have the whole.
Wow.
So I'm assuming that's just a guess, but
Mm-hmm.
Casper sold for 75, and he was in way worse condition than this.
Wow.
The mask was worse and the outfit was worse. So
Yeah.
I just think, and I sold one recently in a box. That was really bad condition, and that was $55. So really finding them in boxes is a big deal, but it's hard to do. And unless you want to pay up, and if you look online in places, sometimes you're going to pay what we could sell them for, and then there's no profit. So
Well, and some people, they just like the boxes.
advertising
too.
stuff.
The
is-
advertising. So
I mean, if you
you
look
can,
at the-
yeah, you can go to a craft store and you can get a new cellophane in like the gift wrap section and put that on the inside if you want it to look a little bit nicer. But anybody that just collects strawberry shortcake, I mean, how cool
Well,
would
look
that
at her.
be?
Look at her on the box.
Yeah.
So I know that advertising pieces are huge, right? Sometimes
Yeah.
you'll see some of the, again, Misty and some of those people that that go out and do this, they'll just buy the boxes, like for bathroom displays, Band-Aid boxes or just tins. How many of you love tins? We sell tins. We love vintage tins. And sometimes it's just about the advertising.
Right.
I mean, you buy it maybe to use, but not so much. I think you're buying it just for what it looks like.
Yeah.
But, so what do you guys think?
Fun stuff. So Melissa's going to treat us to a DIY on some ideas on what to do with these masks, and then stay tuned again to the end for the big announcement that we have.
So let's get rolling with our DIY project. Hi everyone, Melissa again. So you guys, we have a great DIY project that you can do with vintage Halloween masks. So if you watched our video that we did last year, I think we offered this as kind of a suggestion that you could do with masks. We just kind of talked about it. So this time we decided to go a step further and actually try it out and show you what you can do with your vintage or non-vintage. They don't have to be vintage Halloween masks. It could be any mask, really. The kicker though, this is what I learned, right? Trial and error, is that as you see me put all this together, you got to make sure the mask fits in the shadow box. This is a shadow box, one of these frames that have depth, and you can put like flags and stuff in. You just have to make sure that your mask will fit in your shadow box. I thought it would. I had a different mask I was going to use originally, but it's okay. This one's pretty cool too, and this one will work. So stay tuned, and I'm going to show you how I put it all together so you too can maybe make some Halloween art and frame your own mask. Okay guys, so I'm back. So we're gonna show you how to put this together. So again, there are some things that you need, and I had showed you earlier the shadow box frame that you'll need, and I'm gonna show you again, and then of course a mask. But these are some other things that you'll need. Some kind of cardstock. I had bought a bigger piece at a craft store, and they just cut it down. So this is kind of the important part. They cut the piece of cardstock. They cut the piece of cardstock that is going to hold my mask in my shadow box according to the size of my shadow box, right? So this is what's going to show when I put it in my shadow box. So you need a piece of cardstock, and then of course a mask, and then this board, you guys. So the board, the hammer and the nail, right? This is the first thing you do. So you have your board, right? Your piece of wood, a nail, and your hammer, and you take your mask, okay? And of course, these vintage masks are pretty brittle, and so I had to put some tape on the edges before I pounded the hole in the mask, because I didn't want the mask to crack and keep cracking, because that happened and I had to redo part of it. So basically, I'm not gonna do it. I've already done all this, but I'm gonna show you. So what you would do is you would take your mask and you would lay it on here, right? And actually, I think I went from this side and put my nail kind of where I wanted to put my wire. And you guys, the wire, we're putting holes in here because we're gonna use wire, like just this thin floral wire, to wire him to our cardstock, okay? And you'll see in a second what I mean by that. But just take your nail and your hammer and just put it where you want it, and then just pound and give it a couple taps, and your nail hole should go through with ease. You should be able to make a hole in your mask. And then what you'll do, and I'll show you here, is I just put the wire through the mask, and this is the wire that's gonna hold the mask onto my cardstock, to my background for my shadow box. Okay, so that's all I did to the mask, and then I set the mask aside. So now I've already done all this to make it a little quicker and easier, but now you guys, so look at this. It kind of looks like a face, doesn't it? It kind of looks like a skeleton face just the way it is because, so these are, look at this, you guys, remote control fairy lights. So this is what's going to go behind our mask in our shadow box and kind of bring it to life, right? And add that lighted element, which we all love. I know Angela and I just love fairy lights. Their twinkle lights are so fun to put in things. So anyway, what I did for this though, is I had to make holes. I'll turn it over now so you can see the back. Let me turn these off for a second. Look at all this, you guys. So, and my husband helped me with this. So thanks, Tom, for helping me figure all this out. But that's what our pencil was for. So, and we had a tape measure, right? So what we did is we laid the mask on our cardstock or our background. And we had to kind of pencil where the eyes would go, kind of where the mouth area was, because that's where we hid the battery pack, was under the mouth. And then where the eyes would go, so that we knew where to wire our lights, right? And how to hook our lights up, because this is gonna be standing up. And so if it's gonna be standing up on the wall, you don't want it to fall, you don't want everything to fall down. So basically we did the same thing. We used our wood and our hammer and our nail, here it is. And we just made a bunch of holes in our matting or our cardstock, our thick, background where we wanted to wire our lights. So then we just took our wire and we cut pieces of wire and we fed it through the holes and pulled it out the back and then just twisted it, cut it, and then taped it. So the lights are being held on by wire and it's black and the background's black so you can't see it, right? So this is the base for what our mask is gonna sit on. So this is what this looks like. Okay, and again, it's just tapping holes with a nail, pushing wires through, twisting, and it helps to have two people because I would hold one while he fed it through, and then because otherwise, yeah, it would have fallen. So you can see eyes, nose. So then this is the part now that is a little tricky because now we're working with a mask that's old and brittle. So basically, I want it to look like that, right? I want it to cover up. So what I'm gonna do is grab my glasses, because some of you that watch our channel know that Melissa does wear glasses when she does stuff like this. So we're gonna find our little wires. And I already have holes put in here. My husband already, and I don't know if I can get it in close enough to see. But there's some little holes right here. Can you see those? That we put in there to poke the mask, to put the mask into the cardstock, pre-drilled. So I'm just gonna, or pre-nail holes. So I'm just gonna pull, so see how I have it now where I have the wire coming from the mask through the holes to the bottom side of the cardstock. I'm going to do the other side, and I learned this before I pull tight and twist. I want to do the other side so that he's through on both sides. So then I'm going to take this wire and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to feed it. Both pieces. Where did the other piece go? This happened. Okay. This happened the other day. I don't know why. I had a hard time with, the one side gives me a hard time. Isn't that weird? The other side went in the other day really easy too. Here, now it's going. I don't get it. Okay, that's fine. But I don't know why this happened. I'm just talking to you now. I don't know. It's crazy.
It's hard to find the little hole on the black.
There. Well, let's see. Okay. There we go. Okay. Let me say something again. Okay, guys. So now I have the wire fed through on both sides. Okay, so the mask is on the cardstock. And I've got the wire. You can see right here, right? You can see this wire right here. This is the wire that's holding the mask to the cardstock. So now I'm gonna turn it upside down gently. And I'm just gonna take, and I'm gonna twist, right? Pretty tight. pulling as I go. Like that, right? And then do it on the other side. Take them. And again, my husband made sure to give me lots of wire to work with. I almost think like it'd be easier without this much wire, but you know, you got to have a lot to feed through. Okay, so then you have these long, and so then basically, and this wire, you guys, is so thin, you don't really need wire cutters. I mean, you can, I just use scissors, but just cut it off. So now you just have the little, and then the little ends that you've wired, and I just kind of bend them down, and you can put tape over them. I'm not going to for now, but you could tape. We taped everything else. It just helps keep it flat. And then look, you guys. So there's your mask, right? And he's mounted. So now the tricky part, so what I'm not going to do it right now, but what you would want to do then is take your shadow box back, right? So this is the back of your frame, and you would take your cardstock and your mask or your mat board, and you would hot glue it or double stick tape, you know, foam tape it. I'm thinking hot glue it onto your shadow box like this, right? And then you would, here's the shadow box. So you can see how it's literally a box, right? And it has glass like a picture frame. And you would take this and you would just put it in here. One side goes in better than the other. There it goes. And then you would just close it. Well, okay, so one of his eyes is kind of squished. But again, right, it's the idea, but let me fix that. So it's because I had to kind of push to get him in here because he is a little bit, just a little bit tall. Let's see if that's better. Maybe if I don't go so hard. Oh, that's better. I mean, I didn't glue the mat onto the back of the shadow box. So you can see there's a little gap right here that wouldn't normally be there. But otherwise, right, of course his nose is a little big. But again, you guys, it's to give you the idea. Look at that. Isn't that kind of cool? And of course, his face is a little smushed. So, but you can do, and these lights do lots of different, and here's the thing about these battery operated lights. Here's the thing about the battery operated lights is that you can change out, we'll dim the lights in a second and you can see, but you can change out the lights. You can have them flashing, you can have them brighter, you can have them dimmer. And so it's so cool. And of course, you know, lining it up just perfectly. I might have I think when I put it in his face, I think he kind of slid down a little bit, but I think it still worked to give you the idea, right? To give you the idea, if I was gonna redo it, I'd probably maybe pull it up just a little bit, but I think it worked pretty cool. Look at that. I think that's pretty cool. What do you guys think? And depending on what the mask was, I mean, isn't it cool how it kind of shows through the mask? And again, you can change the lights, you know, they blink, they twinkle. There they just stay on. They're just, so yeah, so that's what you can do with a vintage Halloween mask. So the possibilities are endless. You know, colors of lights are endless. Mask styles are endless. I think the biggest thing to remember, you guys, is that you just really want to get the lights wired to the back to your matic board, and then make sure that you line your mask up over your lights. And you've got yourself a DIY for Halloween. So I hope you enjoyed this, and stay tuned because that announcement is up next. Thanks, guys. So this is what it looks like in the dark.
So that was an amazing DIY. So Melissa's the one that thought about that whole idea last year, and so I was super excited to actually see it come to fruition. So I have a couple questions though, and maybe you might have thought the same questions while you were watching it. So could you have just put the mask inside the shadow box and not worry about wiring it?
No, because it would have fallen down, it would have slid down, and you have to remember we took the wire and the lights and that battery pack and hid it under the mask, and so if it wasn't wired to the board with the lights, right, then it would have slid down, and I don't think the lights would have shown through.
Okay.
Plus it covered all of that, right? With wiring it, you're able to hide all of that.
Right.
And you don't want to have it on your wall and have your Halloween party and then all of a sudden have the...
He's looking down.
He's looking down and then all your work's exposed, right? You want to keep your trick secret. But
So
the whole
then-
world knows. That
So then another question is, could you have used a hole punch or just use the existing holes from the staples on the mask?
So that's a good question. That really, the staple, that's, you know how they hook the string, that's a really good question. So that we didn't, honestly, because there's so many of them don't even have their strings anymore. I didn't even really think about that. But she brings up a good point that, so the nail hole, so the hole punch, no, they're too big. So a hole punch, even your mini hole punch, punches a hole too loose that when you stick that teeny, because that wire is so fine, and we wanted the wire fine because we wanted it to not show. And so you want it to get really tight. So no, you need to use, my husband being the carpenter that he is, right? Of course, hammer or nails. Tim Allen. And so he right away, oh, well, let's just punch a nail hole. And I was like, but actually that nail, you saw the nail, it was just a real small, normal, like wall nail, poked the right size hole just big enough in that cardstock, that mat board to get that wire through. Okay. So don't use a hole punch. I would just, everyone has a hammer and a nail. I would just put that board in. But as far as the staples for the mask, we adjusted it a little bit. The thing about that is depending on where that mask, where those holes are in the mask, we had the battery pack. And so to get the mask to cover the bottom, to cover the battery pack, we actually put the holes up a little higher.
Yeah.
So I think you need to lay it over it, do your wiring of the back first, and then lay your mask over.
And it still might have tipped forward if the holes were more
in the middle than
lower.
higher to hold it tight higher. So I would just use a nail and gently do it through the mask.
Okay.
Especially a vintage mask, and we did tape ours. So we poked the nail hole and then we taped the edges in front of the nail hole to the edge of the mask, so when the wire came through, it didn't pull through the hole and then rip the edge of the mask.
Okay.
So.
And then are there any other, if you didn't have hot glue or if you didn't want to use hot glue, are there any other variations to how you could have attached the mat board to the back of the...
Well, when she kind of asked me that earlier when we were talking about this, and I had suggested maybe like double stick tape or foam tape, or you can buy flat double-sided tape that's pretty sticky, and you could just tape runner, just use your tape runner around the edge. But Angela brought up something that I use in crafts and stuff and I never thought about, but she actually suggested E6000, and I actually think just like epoxy, right, like rubber cement, like brushing that on would actually work.
Yeah.
Probably even better because you could just brush it on flat and then push it and just hold it.
Yeah, I use E6000 for most crafts because
I do too.
hot glue will eventually come off.
And then you have all the strings, and you know how hot glue makes. I was thinking, and then you have glass.
You don't worry about burning yourself.
That's part of it, and I didn't want to deal with all
we've done that a few times.
I didn't want to deal with all the mess,
So, well, and I just thought that was genius to actually use the remote control lights to turn it off and on, because you don't want to sit there and have to get in the back of the frame every time you want to turn it on.
Bust the mask, then you'll really break your mask.
So she said she paid a little bit more for the remote
about $3.
lights, but that's worth it.
$3 is worth it if it's art, right?
As long as you don't lose the remote.
Yeah, we have a
Keep
lot of
the remote behind.
We have a lot of remotes that look
the
like
frame.
Here's another tip: when you have multiple fairy lights around your house, and Angela can probably attest to this. So I buy them on Amazon most of the time, and they're all white, so they kind of all use the same remote.
Yeah.
However, I do have some different ones that not from the same. They're not the same brand. Not all remotes work for all fairy lights, so label the back. Because we had a problem, we couldn't get twinkle lights to come on in a jar we had because we didn't know which remote it was. We never found it, so we had to buy new twinkle lights. So let's just make sure you mark your back.
That was a pretty smart idea. So our big announcement is that I will be doing another idea on a different channel. So we will always have our Two Vintage Sistas page. So don't worry about this going anywhere. But our lives are changing a little bit, right?
Oh, yes.
So Melissa's going to be teaching.
To go to work
soon, but we're always going to be getting together.
We're friends,
anyway.
so we're gonna have antics and fun times.
And my job, my boss is going to be retiring soon, and so I'm going to be able to do Etsy and YouTube full time. So I need to do some additional videos, and my husband is actually joining me on that channel too.
It's gonna be a great journey, guys.
So the channel is the same as my Etsy shop, Our Retro Reflections. So and I actually already have a few videos on there. So if you want to go to that channel and like and subscribe and hit the bell notification, I would really appreciate that.
Help her out.
I'm going to do a drawing at some point here. So the more subscribers that are on there and that are commenting and stuff, I'm going to do a drawing just to kind of reward some new followers.
Great idea.
Yeah, but the video that I'm going to be doing next is going to take
That's a cool
this
mask. It
mask,
looks so real.
this witch mask, and I'm going to put it in a close jar. So I'm going to show you a few little tips and tricks on how to do
She's
that.
good at that kind of stuff.
So make sure you check out that channel as well as always this channel. So we are having a good time, and we just appreciate everybody watching and subscribing to this channel as well. Make sure you check out the links down below, and that's it.
I mean, I know we've been a little, I was going to just speak for a second. I know we've been a little absent lately, right?
Yeah.
We have. We're here. We're still around, but life happened for both of us. Angela had adult children to get situated in college, and they traveled. And then, of course, I'm a teacher and trying to finish, it's a long story, trying to get back to work, but I don't really want to get back to work. Okay. I want to be a full-time, someday, right? I'll be able to. But anyway, we've just had a lot going on. So just know that our Instagram, our YouTube, we're coming back. Okay. So we've been in hiatus, but we're still here. So, and she did say that, but I just wanted to kind of apologize on my end also, because we've just had a lot going on.
Yeah, we have, but I'm sure a lot of you are
You can
probably
appreciate.
parents or work full time or have been busy too, so you get it.
You get it. And now where are we going?
We're gonna go get some lunch,
We're hungry.
and we're going to a place that's down by the water.
Beautiful on a sunny day.
And we're gonna do a little planning, so that'll be fun.
So we'll have stuff for you coming up, because we're going to plan that so this channel will stay strong. And you got to check out, I call it ORR, our other channel. You got to check out Our Retro Reflections, and Angela's husband, Jim, by the way. I love you, Jim, if you see this someday, but he's a hoot. They're so fun together. He's coming along. He's got a great attitude, and he's actually, Jim, you're actually learning quite a bit, because I'm impressed as to some of the things that Jim will source for their shop. She's trained him well. Either that, or he just helps and he knows.
I learned from Melissa. Jim learned from me.
I guess it just continues, right? But anyway, he's the man of the operation.
Yeah. So that channel's going to be a lot of fun as well.
It will.
All right.
Okay, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Till next time.
Have a great day.
Yep. Take care.